Hey, everybody. Somebody let me know if you can hear me okay. Please say yes. Hey, Murph. Hey, Jen. Hey, King Ramon. Shout out to King Ramon for the Cash App. Thank you. Thank you. And shout out to Larry. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. Oh, you're at your daughter's game, Jen? Okay, cool. That's okay. Because I'm doing the Little Reese one because, like I said before, I've got like 10 or 11 pages of shit. So I'll be up here talking to myself for a while. Hey, Larry. I'm glad you guys are here. Okay, cool, cool. Yay, my sound is good. Hooray. So how's everybody's Friday going? Jen, you're at your daughter's game. That's cool. What's everybody else doing? Larry, you're probably at work. King Ramon, you're probably at work. So Murph, what are you doing? I'm going to give it just a little bit for you guys to get in here. And then I will start. Ooh, guess what I did, you guys? I'm learning more stuff, right? Pat myself on the back. Well, for me, it's like a big deal. But anyway, we're going to be talking about Little Nine Lives Reese or whatever, right? Well, while I'm giving it a little bit of time for guys to get in here, I want somebody to go check, right? Because I put 2 video links in my description box. One of them is the video that 6ix9ine, where he made a fun of Little Reese, and then the other one after that is it should be where Reese ended up getting in trouble. Like I'm gonna talk about it anyway. But if you guys want to click on it early, I think the first one it's pretty short. And then the second one's only like a minute and something. But the second one is when Reese was getting into it with a girl. And I'm going to be talking about both of those. So if it worked right and I did it the right way, you should be able to click on the links in the description box. And those are the 2 videos, the 6ix9ine video and the one where he ended up getting in trouble for getting into it with a girl. Uh-oh. Jalapeno, quiet. Hey, Corey. Like I said, that's fine if you're driving, Jen's at a game, everybody's working. That's fine. Because like I said, I've got a bunch of stuff to read. But I had to hurry up and get this done. Otherwise, I'd be researching forever. But yeah, so, and if you guys don't do it now, that's fine. But, like at the end of the video, or you can go back and look at it or whatever, but the links are in there. It took me a while to find the one where he was getting into it with the girl that wasn't another content creator talking over it. But I was finally able to find it. And then it wouldn't let me share it. Like, I couldn't copy the link. So I'm hoping it worked right. Because it took me that's why I was a little bit late. It took me forever to try to copy it and put it in that box. But fingers crossed, it works. Hey, Kay. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I'm all excited. I missed you guys. Do you guys know much about Little Reese already? I'm pretty sure everybody knows a little bit about him, right? The basics, at least. One thing I didn't know, I found out that his real name is Tavares Taylor. That is Little Reese's government. I had never known that though. That's kind of it's kind of a cool name, right? Like Tavares. I thought that was cool. That'd be a whole nother show, wouldn't it? Oh, I just thought about that. Like names that people. Who's the guy you guys talk about all the time on other people's panels? Ooh, Larry's brought him up. So is King Ramon. Who's the guy? The white guy that he named his kid like alphabet letters. It was wild. Dang it, what's his name, you guys? Elon Musk, isn't it? Isn't he the guy that named his kid like EX dash whatever in the hell? That was crazy. How do you pronounce that? That'd be another whole show altogether, though. Hey, Pamela. I'm glad you're here, my love. I'm gonna get in. Yeah, was it Elon? Okay, that's. I knew Larry. I knew you'd know it. Do you know how to pronounce that? I'm gonna ask you on your show later. That's crazy. When I saw that, I might have to do a show about that. The weird names that people name them, and how come celebrities are the ones that usually, have the craziest kid names? That's so weird. Maybe because they just want them to be different. I don't know. Or maybe because they just have enough money, they are weird. That might be it. Hey, Brandon. Shout out to everybody. Ha, King Ramon. He named him after a planet. King Ramon, stop it. Okay, so you don't believe in space, though, right? So would that mean that he named his kid after like a? I think you said they're taped up there or something. Yeah, we're gonna have to do a show about that. I gotta hear King Ramon's theory behind that one. But again, thank you. Shout out to everybody that's here. King Ramon, KT, Pamela, Jen, Brandon, Murph, Larry. Hopefully I didn't forget anybody. CMW, Corey. I think that's everybody. But thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm going to get into this mess, okay? All righty. I know, Jen. I know. I would say I'm 50-50, but I can't do. That's what it is, Larry? Okay. Oh, I'm not going to get into this, y'all. I'm not. Look at what Larry put, you guys. XAE A-12. What the hell is that? How do you say that? Would that be like Xfinity 12? What is that? That is just exactly, Jen. What the hell is that? And can you imagine, like, okay, how can you imagine, like, his teachers trying to pronounce his name? Can you imagine if he went, no, the military uses last names, so he'd be able to get away with that. That is crazy, Larry. And out of all the letters you could have picked, he picked. I'm not going to get into it. I'll be talking about this forever. Okay. All right, everybody. So thank you guys for being here. I'm going to get into the messiness here. Like I said, I'm pretty sure you guys have heard, kind of what was going on like a week and a half to 2 weeks ago. Yes, Jen, don't even King Ramon. He said his son is an android. I am dead. That's funny. That is funny. Yeah, right, Kay? Shorten it to X for real. That is funny, King Ramon. Jen, yes, that's somebody's name. We're not going to get into it because then I'll be stuck on that. But okay. So I'm pretty sure you guys have heard about Little Reese. It was about a week and a half or almost 2 weeks ago when the whole episode with him was all over everywhere. And you guys know how I like to wait a little bit so I can get all the updates and everything like that. Get the real information, because even in the case with Little Reese, I had noticed that a lot of bloggers, or yeah, you would call them bloggers or podcasters, whichever one you want to choose, right? They jumped on it because, of course, it's a popular topic. But I noticed a lot of people ended up going back and changing things because of what had happened, what came out. Like, I think it was 3 days later. Then he ended up making a video and all that. So a lot of stuff ended up coming out, and the first reports of it were so like foggy, you know what I mean? There wasn't really direct what had happened exactly. It was more that people were trying to speculate or guess. Um, so that's why I like to wait a day or two, and then I know all my information is pretty much real. Then the media has it out, and I have more reliable sources to go to. And I always make sure that I have 3 or more sources that are reliable. Like, I don't go to like Wikipedia or something like that. I make sure that my stuff is pretty reliable. That way, if I tell you guys something wrong and I have to come back and correct it, I can blame it on somebody, you know, that was way bigger than me, and they can take the rap for it, right? It's not my fault. But I'm gonna go ahead and get started. All right. So, like I said, Little Nine Lives Reese, as I like to call him, and I call him that because he always has these real close calls with death, and he's still here. His real name is Tavares Taylor, and I'm gonna do the best that I can to tell you guys, you know, a little bit of his past that leads up to the current day events that happen. Basics. Little Reese is a Chicago drill rapper, and he's known for a lot of things, but his music. I mean, he has some pretty good music, but he's kind of in the headlines for everything but his music. But his music career started. Have you guys heard of Chief Keef before? He was pretty popular. He's a drill rapper from Chicago. His music career, I'm not sure exactly how long, but Chief Keef's been around a while. And he's had a couple of hits that have made it, you know, to the radio and things of that nature. But Little Reese did a song on, well, he was on a song with Chief Keef. So he did, oh, I forget what you call that, where you're not the headliner, but you do like a bar or whatever on some of these songs. So that's what Reese did with Chief Keef. And the song ended up peaking at like 73 on the Billboard charts. And, oh, how am I going to tie this in real quick, guys? Let me see. I think I'm going to go ahead and just go from the past up until now. I think that'll be the easiest. But his music career, pretty much, he got put out there when he was on the song with Chief Keef, and he ended up getting approached to do a deal. But I'll get into all that. I'm going to try to time it all exactly right. So let me start out with this. When it was in 2010, he was 17, okay? And he ended up with a burglary charge. He's still a minor. The only thing I could find about this was an article that was in XXL magazine. I don't know if you guys remember that, but all they said is that he had a burglary charge at 17. He pled guilty, and he ended up with 2 years of probation. Okay. And that's when he was 17. A few months after that, that's when he signed his deal with Def Jam Records. Okay. So remember that part. So he's only had that burglary charge that I could find, and then he ends up signing, you know, his music deal with Def Jam. Then in April of 2013, which would have been 3 years later, and these stories are so just crazy, but in April of 2013, he was sleeping in a vehicle. I don't know why. And an officer allegedly saw him, you know, knocked out. And he ends up running the tag of the vehicle while he's still asleep. And he ends up running his identity after he wakes him up and finds out that Little Reese had a warrant from October of 2012. So the cop kind of got lucky. Like I said, I don't know why he was sleeping, but in the vehicle, but he ends up getting arrested for the warrant for that. And the warrant was for battery. Okay. And I'm going to tell you guys about the battery charge, or the information that I could find about the battery charge. And that ties into the second video that, if it works right, you guys can see it. It's in the description box. Basically, the video starts out with a few girls and guys in an apartment. It looks like they're just having, like, you know, a kickback or a get together or whatever. But, oh, let me tell you guys real quick, the battery complaint. No, I'm going to wait on that. I'm going to wait. Sorry, I'm trying to get ahead of myself here. But the video shows the girls and the guys. There are probably about 6 or 7 guys in there. There might be like 3 girls. And it shows the girl kind of talking, you know, like smack back and forth with Little Reese or whatever, right? Like, they're not full on arguing, but she's kind of just like, you know, getting into it with him. And the other people are around, and they just started recording it, and they're laughing. And then out of nowhere, right, she kind of just like grabs at his hand. He had his hands down to his side. She grabs at his hands. I don't know what he had in his hand, but once she did that, he kind of looked at her like he gave her that look like, you know, back off or whatever. And she kind of shoved him, not hard or anything. And then she walks away. And he just like loses it and starts beating this girl like she's a grown-ass man. I mean, he's double punching this chick. He jumps on her, he kicks her when she's on the ground. And, you know, she was talking smack to him, and she did grab at his hand, right? I don't know what he had in his hand. I have no idea. But she didn't deserve to be beat like that. Like, if you guys go watch that video, that shit is messed up. Like, he beat the shit out of that girl. And also with all the people around, right? I like to look at it like if those people were his friends, they would have tried to stop him. But they were just sitting there recording. They were laughing and egging it on. And like I said, you know, I wasn't there. I don't know what happened, but you don't get any points in my book when you're like beating on a chick like that. It doesn't, you know, she had walked away from him. But that's the second video in the description box if you guys want to watch that. I think it's like a minute and a few seconds long. You know, but that was just unreal. But that's where that battery charge came from. She pressed charges against him for that. And then after she had pressed the charges, they couldn't find him. So that's why when he was asleep in the vehicle and the cop ran his name, he had an outstanding warrant for battery. So that's the battery charge, okay? So he's got the burglary charge in 27 or when he was 17 in 2010. Then he ends up having this battery charge, and in between those, he signed his record deal. When he was taken in for the warrant for this battery charge, he ended up having a really high bail. He bonded out, of course, and then the charges were dropped because I couldn't find anything else on it. You know, he didn't serve any time for it. I didn't see anything on probation, just nothing. So I'm pretty sure they were dropped completely. Now, his third arrest came only 2 months later, in June of 2013, where he was arrested on a theft charge due to him using somebody's identity to purchase a 2006 BMW and register it. Now, when he ended up getting arrested for that, he had a $500,000 bail, which he posted and got out, and those charges were dropped. Then, in July of 2013, like he was busy, like every other month, but July of 2013, so this is a month after he ended up getting in trouble for the BMW, he was outside with some guys and the police drove by, and he was trying, once he saw the police, he tried to turn around and walk away. And I don't know if you guys have, where you guys live at, if you have something called like the Jump Out Boys, but we have them down here in Florida. And basically what they do is they ride around in unmarked cars, right? Where people, you know, frequent, like they might go, if there's a party, like a, you know, at a club, they'll ride around that parking lot and they look for people. They have pictures of people that, you know, that have outstanding warrants, people that sell drugs. And what they look for is if they drive by, because everybody knows it's the Jump Out Boys. They have like these, oh, what kind of cars are they? They're all black. They don't have any, they're bubble tops, so they don't have any lights on them that you can, you know, tell it's them, but they have that damn spotlight on the side, which is a dead giveaway. And they have these weird little flat computer things on the back of their trunk, which I guess is where they can take pictures of people's plates and it'll tell if there's, you know, a warrant or not. But if they drive by and you're outside and you walk away or you start to run or anything like that, they have the authority to chase you down and stop you and frisk you and ask for your ID and everything. So that's why they call them the Jump Out Boys, because they literally drive by, and if they see you doing some fuck shit, they're going to jump out on your ass and get you. So that's why that's called. But anyway, that's what happened to him, because they saw him turn around and start to, you know, what would you say, like fast walk. He wasn't really running, allegedly. But they turned around and got on his ass, right? So they frisked him, and because he was still on probation for that other charge, they found $2,090 in cash on him, and he had a little bit of weed. So they took him in because he was on probation, so he couldn't have the weed. So they take him in, and he had a $10,000 bail. So he posts that and gets out. And that's all for 2013. So he had like 3 different arrests in 2013. In 2014, in July, I don't know what it is with him in July, he's pulled over and ends up getting arrested for having a firearm while being a felon. So they arrest him for that. He gets a $50,000 bail, and then he got out 2 days later. So he stayed in there for about 2 days, and then he got out. And those charges were dropped. And like I said, I'm giving you guys as much as I was able to find out about these charges. It was hard. It was really hard to find this stuff. But if it seems like it's kind of just like a, like a basic rendition of what happened, that's all I could find. I couldn't get too many details on it. Now, okay, so the firearm charge was dropped. It almost seems like they were just arresting him just to get money because they knew he had it. Because look at the amounts of bail he was posting. That's unreal, just to turn around and have the charges dropped. And I do want to say, during all these arrests, right, keep in mind, he was able to bond out either the same day or just that one where he bonded out 2 days later. And you know what I was wondering is, with the music deal that he signed, I wonder if he had like really good lawyers, and of course he had the money to do it. So maybe that's why he was able to turn around and get the charges dropped and get out as early as he was, because he would have had Def Jam lawyers on his side, right? Now, his 6th arrest was in July on the 30th of 2016. It was really hard to find any information about this one. All I know is that the charges were something to do with when he violated probation again, and he ended up being brought in on charges of contempt. So I don't know if maybe he violated probation, went to court, because when you have a contempt charge, that's usually like being held in contempt of court, like you do something messed up in court. So I'm just assuming that's what it meant. I have no idea. I've never heard of a contempt charge before. But he had no bond for this. No bond, and he ended up getting out. All I could find was some days later. So I don't know what some means, but he was able to turn around and get out some days later. Then on May 7th of 2018, so we're getting closer, the FBI ended up raiding Little 9 Live Reese's apartment, which, of course had something to do with drugs. They ended up seizing $2,200 of weed, $100,000 cash, and a scale. Just one scale, by the way. That's it. So the FBI did all that work, because you know how they watch people. And all they did was get $100,000 cash, $2,200 worth of weed, and one scale. Now, everything after that, right? After 2018, pretty much looked clear. Or he was able to just stay under the radar. I wasn't able to find anything after that to where he was back in jail. And hopefully he had people looking out for him or something like that, because he was on a roll. I mean, he had, how many charges is that? That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7. So that's 7 times that he had ended up going to jail from 2010 to 2018. And that's the ones I could find out. I don't know. There might be more. I'm going to read the comments real quick, you guys, just to see if I can go, if you guys have questions or anything, because that's a lot of shit to take in. This guy was busy as hell. All right, let me go back on. Oh, Jen, if you don't know what a drill rapper is, like a drill rapper is what they call like you'd basically say like the gangster rap of like the current day, right? So it's just like back in the 90s when they had gangster raps. Now drill rapping is basically like the rap where they talk about, all the stuff that they're doing or have done. That's basically what it is. Yes, thank you, Brandon. I wish I would have read that. I was stumbling. A feature. Yes, Little Reese did a feature on Chief Keef's song. Thank you, Brandon. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, Brandon. Okay, I'm glad you brought that up where you said they call him the Grim Reaper. And did academics give him that nickname? Do you know? Because I know that's what they call him. But I don't know if he had that nickname before then. I don't watch academics. King Ramon, go in the description box. Not the little pin message, but go in and see if there's anything in there. If not, I'm going to be mad and I'm going to have to drop it in the chat. Jen, that's messy. I hope he quit peeing and left you alone. Brandon, you got the Jump Out Boys too? Hey, NASA. What a piss. Y'all are crazy. What a pisser. That's funny. Jen! You told him there's a bathroom over there and he said this won't take long. Typical guy, right? Ah! Oh my God. King Ramon, piss off. You guys are crazy. That's hilarious. Okay, King Ramon, you said how were the charges dropped again? Like I was saying, they don't say. They didn't even say if he went to court for any of this. All I could find was a lot of these charges, it just said charges were dropped. So you know how it is when you've got somebody that's signed to a label. They either pay people off or they have the lawyers to get, you know, that shit just, it disappears. Oh, shoot. The comments just jumped up. Hold on, guys. Brandon, that's the first person you heard calling that? I've heard a couple of people like that he had that nickname. So I'm pretty sure he had it before academics, but I'm not positive. Okay, Jen, awesome. I have 2 videos. See, King Ramon? I have 2 videos in the description. Jen saw it. It's there. Mm-hmm. Look, Jen, King Ramon's saying it's not there. I believe Jen, King Ramon. Okay, King Ramon, if you go to, okay, let me think how you, if you go, Jen, how does he get to it? I'm trying to think how you get to the description box. I think he's got to go back out. If you can tell him how to do it, I can't remember. Please, please, please. Because it's not the little purple box, the pinned message. It's actual, it's like the description. King Ramon, the description box is like if you click on somebody's video and you click that little down arrow where sometimes people will tell what their video is about. That's what it is. Hey, man. But it's that little arrow on the top right below the picture of the video that I think you click on. I think that'll bring it up. I can't remember. I'm glad they're there, Jen. Did you watch them at all? Or you don't have to watch them till later, because like I said, I told the story about the girl. So now that's the video that's in there, though. That video is wild as hell, though. Like I said, I can't believe he beat that girl like that. That was wrong as shit. I don't even think, no, she tried to get him a couple of times. Like, she swung back. I'll give her that. But he was literally double-handing her. And then when she tried to get away, she tripped and she fell on the ground. And he started kicking the shit out of her. Like I said, he beat her like she was a dude. It was not, oh, and let me tell you guys, in the charge that she did against him, the battery charge, guess why, I guess, allegedly, he fought her. He fought her because she was, those guys that were with him They all wanted to hang out. It was her apartment, allegedly. She told them that she wanted them to leave. So because she told them she wanted them to leave, he ends up whooping her ass. That's what the whole thing was about, allegedly. Because she asked them to leave. Isn't that screwed up? Okay, King Ramon, you can see it now? Okay. That shit is wild. Okay. All right, so I left off where they ended up getting a skill. The FBI. That's another thing, too. You guys ever notice that when people become celebrities, the FBI starts hawking them? Who? Wait a minute. I was young. But what were those police officers called when, like, the rappers were, wasn't it like hip hop police or some shit like that, that they actually had a task force that was only dedicated to watching rappers? They look at them like a doggone payday. I'm not gonna lie. I think when the FBI or whoever ends up um getting a warrant, and when they come in and they seize things that you have bought with like drug money or whatever, and while you get sent to prison or whatever, they end up getting the like the title to the cars or all the property that, like, somehow some way they end up getting your property because it was bought with like alleged drug money. So I go to the grocery store one night, and no lie, there was a brand new Camaro that was in the parking lot. And on the back, you guys know how people will put writing and stuff like that on their front window of their car, or on the back window of the car. They do that down here, down south. They might have like their last name, or you might see like Rodriguez on the back of a truck or something. There was writing like that on the back of this brand new Camaro, and it said bought with drug money. It said bought and paid for with drug money from, and it had the guy's name, like the guy they ended up seizing like the money from. And then it was like it had a little thing printed underneath it that was like, if you don't want your property, if you don't want to see us in your property, don't sell drugs. I was like, what the hell? I was like, that would suck. Can you imagine having a brand new car, right? Or having a lot of money and they end up seizing it, and your ass is sitting up, up the road in prison, and they're driving around in a brand new car, thanking you with your name on the back of it. I was like, that's dirty. Only in Florida. I've never even heard about that anywhere. Aw, I hope she bats it. I'm so excited, Jen. King Ramon, for real, right? You saw how he beat the crap out of that poor girl? Isn't that horrible? And she didn't, she was popping off at the mouth and stuff like that, but not any, I mean, I've seen way worse. Way worse. Ooh, remember that article I did, you guys, where the guy ended up getting shot because of the baby's mom? And the guy ended up, going through his pockets. Now that would be an example of when somebody would get heated and try to like beat up the guy or something like that. That would be an example of that. Not when that guy didn't do anything. That's crazy. Alrighty, so let's move on. And like I was saying, after 2018, right, he pretty much was able to stay under the radar. I couldn't find out anything after that. So now let's talk about a little bit over a year ago. Yeah, I would say it was a little bit over a year ago. I don't know the exact date, but Reese was out there. He was caught lacking by his ops. Luckily, they didn't try to kill him, but they ended up beating him up and video recording it and putting it all over the internet. I'm pretty sure you guys saw that. That's the one where 6ix9ine or Snitch9, whatever, ended up making the video making fun of him. That's the one where he ended up, how can I say this in a nice way? He ended up, Like when they say somebody beat the shit out of somebody, that's literally kind of what happened. But he ended up going to the bathroom on himself, and that made it even worse because, like I said, the guy was recording, and the guy was like, "You shit on my shoe." Oh, hell no, he shit himself. Like, they really made fun of him. And they didn't beat him up that bad, or it didn't look that bad. But when he was on the ground, they were kicking him and stuff. And that's when he got, he shitted, and that's when he got it on the guy's shoe, and they put it all over the internet. If you guys haven't seen it, you can find it. I wasn't able to find one where I could get the link, though, where it was not a really long video where somebody was talking over it. So if you guys do want to go out there and find it, you can. You could probably just put like Little Reese getting, I don't know, beat up, and it'll probably come up. But he ended up going through all of that. And like I say, the guy it could be worse. I'm not going to say that. But that was pretty bad to be all over the internet. It made him look really, really bad, like really weak. Because this guy, just like Brandon said, you've got this really hardcore nickname. You were in and out of jail for all this stuff. You're a drill rapper, and then you get this video put out about you where you're literally shitting your pants and being made fun of. So that wasn't a very good look. And like I said, you guys can find that out there, but I wasn't going to post a link because it was I couldn't find one where it was a shorter version like the other videos that I posted for you guys to look at. So, hold on real quick, guys. And when 6ix9ine made a video reenactment making fun of him, if you guys go and watch the video, because like I said, that one's in the description box. And it's short. It's not that long. The link is there. I think it was labeled wrong too, so it took me a minute to find it. But he basically reenacted the whole fight. He ended up I think it starts with him being on the ground, and he ended up, I don't know what he put on his boxers, but he put something that looked like, poo on his boxers. And he ended up reenacting the whole video. Then, you know how 6ix9ine trolls, or likes to say that he trolls and how messy he is, right? He ended up sending it to Reese and was taunting him, right? But nothing really became of it that I heard. I don't know if you guys heard anything. I couldn't find anything. I remember when it happened because I remember that everybody was like, oh, Little Reese better do something about it because, how do you let 6ix9ine do, him of all people, make fun of you like that and put it all over the internet? So poor Reese, you end up getting plastered all over the internet, having an accident on yourself while you're caught lacking out there by yourself. Then you have somebody make an exact reenactment of the video and put that all over the internet. So that's horrible. But that is what happened with that. That happened in, did I have the date? Nope, I couldn't find the date. All I know is a little bit over a year ago when that happened. I remember that much. All right, let me read the comments and see. Hey, Roz girl. Yes, King Ramon, they did. They literally beat the shit out of him. Yep. I was trying to say it in a nicer way, but I don't think there's really a way to say it nice. Hey, Average Joe. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Roz girl, the stuff I'm talking about, if you want to see the videos for it, I put it in the description box. The one where 6ix9ine did the reenactment of Little Reese getting in that fight, and then there's one of Little Reese beating a girl that he ended up getting a battery charge for. But you guys can go and watch them later or now. It's up to you guys. But just so you know that they're in there if you want a better understanding of it. Alrighty now. Let's get into the current debacle that he's going through. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys heard about it or you saw it. the reports and videos about what's going on. Like I had mentioned earlier, when it first came out and everybody was talking about it, it was really screwy, like what was happening. It was very hard to decipher what had happened. It was very all over the place. So I'm going to give you guys the best information that I could get and that I could decipher through, because it's still kind of all over the place. But like I said, about a week and a half ago or 2 weeks ago, I think it might have been 2 weeks ago, there was a call that was made to 911, right? About a stolen Dodge Durango. That was around 9:50 in the morning that this happened. And it said that police units were requested. Hold on, jalapeno. But the police were called to a parking garage where shots had been fired. This apartment garage is, okay, I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys know what a parking garage looks like. It's kind of like a different level or multi-level concrete parking garage where you can just drive around to the first floor, second floor, third floor, and so on. A lot of times there's a building that's connected to a parking garage. So say if you work in an insurance building, you park in that parking garage. There were apartments that were kind of high class, like they were expensive. And that's what was attached to this parking garage were these apartments. So keep that in mind. When the police had responded, right, one victim was found in the parking garage by a female officer. On the outside, another officer had one offender in handcuffs. And it was said that there was another that they were allegedly looking for. So all this is happening all at one time. The female officer allegedly was making it to the second floor of the parking garage, and that's where she found the crashed 2021 Durango that was reported stolen earlier. On the driver's side window, there were several bullet holes and the casings were all around it, right? While the officer was securing the crash scene, the security officer for the parking garage was holding down a suspected offender who was Little Nine Lives Reese. So the security officer of the parking garage had him. So he was caught like right outside the parking garage. He was bleeding from his head and his mouth. That's where, if you guys, some people took a snapshot or a screenshot of the video, and it looks really bad. Like you can see he's bleeding from somewhere, but it was reported that he was bleeding from his head and his mouth. And he allegedly had knots on his forehead. Where he was bleeding on his head turned out to be his eye, or around the eye area. I don't know if you guys have ever been in fights before, but if you get hit, like, ooh, a good example, boxing, right? If you guys watch boxing, when you see a fighter get hit in the eye, it bleeds like there's no tomorrow. I'm not sure why that happens, but you know, or if you've gotten in a fight yourself, because like if you hit somebody in the eye or they hit you in the eye and it cuts just right, you're gonna bleed like you got stabbed. I don't know why, but so he had that injury to his eye, but it was the eye area, not his actual eye, allegedly. Now, the alleged way that the security officer had ran into Reese, by the way, was while the regular police were trying to secure the parking garage and figure out what in the hell was going on, a woman who was recording the video that has been plastered all over the internet, that most of us have seen, she sees him and she starts yelling, these are her words, "That's the motherfucker that ran." So she said that, and the security guard heard her. And she's pointing to little Reese. And he was trying to make his way out of the parking garage, walking. He wasn't driving. Now, this woman was with a man who stated at the same time, pointing to Reese, "That's who stole my car." All right, so you guys remember that. The woman is videotaping with her phone. She points to Reese, and the guy with her points to Reese also. So the security officer makes him get on the ground. And the guy that's with the woman, he keeps saying to little Reese on the video, "Do you know who I am? do you know who I am? And then he stands over him and he's like, you got your ass beat. And then he throws up like a gang sign. I'm not going to say like which one, but you guys can see that in the video. I wasn't able, like I said, to find one that was condensed enough without another creator talking over it for, you know, like 20 minutes. So you guys can look that up if you want to, if you haven't seen it already, because that was the video that was all over everywhere. But that's who took that video, was the woman that pointed him out and the man that pointed him out. And then the guy stood over him and talked shit. At the end of all of this, right? This is the people that I was able to find out that were injured. There was, can you guys still hear me okay? I put my phone on do not disturb and I'm getting a spam call anyway. So let me know if you guys can hear me okay. I don't know if that interferes with me or not. Okay, now it's done. Can you guys still hear me okay? What the heck are you guys talking about in the chat? Thank you, NASA. What in the world are you guys talking about? Now I gotta go up here and look. Man, you starting shit in my chat? Hold on, let me look. King Ramon. What'd mean say? Hey, why did Tommy steal Larry's famous drop? You're talking about Tommy? Oh, I saw that in your show, man. I did hear you talk about that. I think I said something in your chat where I was like, oh, wow, really? I did. That's crazy. You imitated him perfect, by the way. That's crazy though. I've never, like you said, I don't watch him like that anymore or anything, but I don't remember him saying, you know, yeah, man. No. So, Maine, you didn't really put it out there like that yesterday, but if Tommy took Larry's famous drop and you constantly play it on Behind the Bar, then that would mean what, right? He's in your bushes watching your shit. Okay, now let me see what you guys are saying. Man, you're talking about your $2? Oh, is it Ramon? So it's blood vessels that are up there that make you okay. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy, man. He's in your bushes, boy. That's crazy. That's because Behind the Bar is popping. It's the best show on YouTube, hands down. Okay, now where in the world was I at, you guys? Oh, the injuries. Okay. So I was able to find out that there was a 20-year-old that was shot 4 times in the legs that was critical. There was a 27-year-old that was shot in the left cheek, the right shoulder, and the right bicep, and the left forearm, and he was in critical. And then there was a 28-year-old that was grazed by his eye, who was in fair condition, and that was little Reese. There was a report that he was shot in the thigh, by the way, but that was false. Little Reese was not shot in his leg or in his thigh or anything. That was not. That was out there, though. I ran across that, but that's false. That didn't happen. The policewoman that I mentioned earlier, she was basically saying that, and these are her words, apparently they were all shooting at each other. And according to the Chicago Tribune, quote unquote, Little Reese had told the police that he met the people in the Durango outside of the garage and directed them where to drive into the parking garage so he could buy weed from them. The other people who were shot gave, barely information at all. They weren't talking to the police at all. Little Reese, apparently, allegedly, was the only one that gave kind of a little bit of a statement. So nobody else was talking. Now, the man that reported his Durango stolen, okay? You might be wondering, how in the hell is this guy at the parking garage where the Durango was at that got stolen from him, right? Like, did they just take it and they hopped in it right there? Well, no, that's not what happened. He actually had a GPS on the Durango. So he was sitting there following the location of where this Durango was driving, right? Once it got stolen. And it was showing him that it was in the downtown area. Now, his father found the Durango. I guess they drove down there, right? They find the Durango on the second level of this Grand Plaza parking garage. And while the father, who had really huge balls for doing this, by the way, tried to detain the people that were in the Durango. Now, he stated, this is the dad. Let me tell you guys this too, because this is so screwed up and hard to follow. The people, Little Reese apparently met these people right outside the parking garage and motioned them to go park, and he was going to do the little weed deal with them or whatever. At the same time this is all happening, the father and son are getting to the parking garage because they have GPS, and while they were calling the police about it being stolen, they were saying, hey, we're on our way, it's down here, and that's how the cops knew where it was at and everything else. So the GPS on the Durango had told the son and the dad where they were at. The dad, now get this, we don't hear anything about the son. I want you guys to remember that. The dad, okay, stated that when he was trying to detain the people in the Durango, someone came out of somewhere shooting into the truck, causing it to crash into one of the pillars. When the truck crashed, the people inside got out and started to shoot back at the person that was shooting at them. So stick a fork in that right now. When police and the ambulance arrived, another shot, this was crazy. Another shot was heard coming from the parking garage, right? And that was allegedly a misfire from one of the police officers. So allegedly there was a scary ass cop in the garage somewhere that had their gun out and misfired, which is like a no-no. You never do that. So I don't know what the hell was going on with that. But everybody else was detained. So, they had said that it was one of their own, apparently. So with all that being said, right? Little Reese ends up telling the police that he was buying weed and didn't know what happened, that he had no, link to it at all. And like I said, there's very expensive apartments that are attached to this garage. Now, I was able to find out, right? Little Reese's girlfriend lives in these high-rise apartments that are attached to the parking garage. Because I'm not going to lie, when I was doing this and I was hearing that Little Reese had told his statement saying that, oh, he called these people up, he was going to buy weed from them, and that's the only reason why he was in that location to begin with. I was like, bullshit, like that doesn't even sound right. But when I was doing my research and I was able to find out that his girlfriend or a girl he's talking to, whatever, lives in these apartments, that makes sense. Because if he was in the apartments hanging out with her and they didn't want to really go anywhere, he's a rapper, he could pretty much call anybody and have them just come and bring him whatever, right? So that it kind of made sense, or I think it does, in my opinion. Oh yeah, that was another thing too. People on the internet, people on the internet know everything, right? Well, all while this stuff is coming out about what happened and everything, some people had put out a picture that Little Reese had taken a couple days before, and he had put on his I don't know if it was his Facebook or his Instagram, but it was a picture of him in a Durango. So everybody was saying, look, he stole the Durango because look, he took a picture while he was inside the Durango. But I got to tell you guys this, right? TMZ, who everybody knows who those were, they posted pictures of the vehicle after it was shot up and crashed, right? And that vehicle had red seats in it. And when you see the picture that Little Reese took when he was in a Durango a couple of days before, those Durango seats are not red. So it's not the same vehicle. But this is what I want to know. If little Reese is telling the truth, where he was just calling these people to buy weed from them, he had nothing to do with the stolen vehicle, yada, yada, yada. Why did the couple that made the video point little Reese out and say that he was the one that stole the car or the Durango or whatever? Now, we know that the man and his son who GPSed the Durango were there, right? The woman who was talking smack to little Reese and recording, who the hell was that chick? Like, is she the mom or is she the wife of the dad or maybe the girlfriend of the guy, you know, the son? Like, who in the hell was that lady? Nobody, I couldn't find anywhere that said who in the hell that lady was. And we know that she was with the dad and the son because the dad, you know, he was in the video with her. So we know they're connected. But I couldn't find anywhere who in the hell this lady is. So she's got to be either the, I don't know, the wife, the girlfriend, or I don't know, but she's connected to them somehow. And then I want to know, who in the fuck was the shooter? Okay, can somebody please answer that shit? I know I'm not done talking about what I got to talk about. I still got more info, you guys. But who in the hell was the shooter? I don't know who the woman is. I have an idea of who she was. But who's the shooter? If little Reese is telling the truth, I made a phone call. I got these people bringing me weed. I don't know why these people would steal a vehicle to deliver weed, but whatever floats their boat. You know, who in the world came out of nowhere in the parking garage and started shooting at him, right? Like, who? If you guys had to guess, who do you think the shooter was? The one that started it? I want to wait and see what you guys say because I want to, you know, I'm going to give my opinion on it. Because I'm trying to figure out if the dad is saying he was trying to detain the people in the Durango and all of a sudden somebody came out of nowhere and started firing into this damn truck. That was what the dad had said. And the people that were in the truck that got shot the fuck up and shot back, they weren't talking. No, I mean, we do like to shoot people up over here. We do. Okay, well, let me tell you. Registration fee mean nice. Means like you've got to pay dues for behind the bar. Oh, and by the way, you guys, how about nobody's been arrested, by the way? Last I checked, which was probably about 3 or 4 days ago. So that's weird to this whole shit too, right? But I'm going to tell you guys who I think the shooter was. I think the shooter that started this, you think the driver, King Ramon? King Ramon, no, listen. Somebody came out of nowhere and somebody shot at the vehicle first. That's why the people in the vehicle started shooting back. Remember when I said the Durango was shot the fuck up? So somebody shot at them. Then when it crashed, they got out and started shooting back. So that's what it means. Like, it couldn't have been the driver shot back. So here's what I think, and what I like, who I think was the shooter, right? I think this is alleged, my own opinion. I think that the son was the shooter. That's what I think. Because think about it. You got the lady outside bitching and recording a video. You've got the guy outside. The son went with the dad. Where was the son? And who would have a reason to shoot at these people at the same time the father is tracking the vehicle down and trying to confront the people that stole it? It's got to be the son. It has to be. He's the only one that, disappeared from the whole situation. And, it was his truck. The dad was just the one that, I don't know, drove him down there. So, in my opinion, I think the son was the one that shot. That's what I really think. It's got to be, because who else could it be? If Little Reese's story is true and that he called these people to get weed, he wouldn't have shot at them because allegedly those weren't his ops. So to me, I definitely think, it's got to be the son. Like I said, that's my opinion, but that's what I think. And I want to know from you guys also. I'm going to drop the link in a minute if anybody wants to come up. But the only person who gave a statement to police was Little Reese and the truck owners. The people in the truck that shot back and got shot the hell up, they didn't say, like I said before, anything. By the way, y'all, nobody said what the shooter looked like. If the dad, remember how the dad's statement, he said that somebody came out of somewhere and started firing wildly at the truck. Well, if you were able to see that, wouldn't you have saw what he looked like? Nobody has said anything about what the shooter looked like. No shooter has been arrested, nothing. And poor Reese, by the way. Oh, but I want you guys to tell me, do you think that it's like snitching for Little Reese to talk to the police right now with what's going on? Or no? That's a question I got for everybody. I was going to squeeze this in earlier, by the way, but poor Reese, right? He had just gotten shot last year in the neck and lived. And there were so many stories going around about that incident that nobody will really talk about it, and the people that have talked about it, like I said, it's just uninteresting. It's not telling what. All I know and all I was able to figure out was that he was at an intersection, like a street where there's like 4 lights or what have you, 4 different ways, and he ended up getting shot. When it came to him being shot in the eye, because King Ramon and I were talking about this last week, and King Ramon had said that he had heard he lost the vision in one of his eyes or lost one of his eyes or whatever. I guess so many people were saying that he ended up, Little Reese made a video and released it himself. And he had said that he was fine. He had just gotten grazed. And after I saw that video, I couldn't find it again. I don't know if he took it down or what happened, because I would have had that in the description box for you guys too. But he was saying that he did not lose his eye. And he looked okay in the video. So that's everything, you guys, that I have to say, or that well, not that I have to say, but that I was able to find out. That's a lot of shit. Like, he basically, he signed his deal with Def Jam after he did the song with Chief Keef. He's in and out of jail from 2010 all the way until, what was it? He was on a ball from 2010 to like 2013, every other month type of shit. Then when the FBI got him, that was in 2018. And these are all like, besides the battery one, they're all pretty minor charges. And they all got dropped. He's never been to prison. This was all jail. And then he got shot in the neck last year. Then he ended up getting, grazed this time. So I'm going to go ahead. Hold on, you guys. Let me get the link real quick. If anybody wants to come up. Okay. So what do you guys think about everything that happened with him? I still am trying to figure out, like I said, it's so weird. I don't understand it. The woman and the man pointed now, did they point out Little Reese, and did the guy talk the shit in the video, to him because maybe I don't know. He knows who Little Reese is because, like I said, in the video, the guy was like, "Do you know who I am?" So I don't know. I just don't get why they would point him out unless they were just wanting clout, maybe. Maybe they don't like him, like maybe he's a rival or something and they just wanted him to get locked up. I don't know. It's so fishy. If Reese really wasn't involved in this, it's strange. He apparently just got grazed because he was in the middle of it. That's his story. And he had them showing up to, sell him weed, and nobody knows who this shooter was. That is, I don't know. This story is just all over the damn place. Thank you, King Ramon. Like I said, I don't know. It's just so strange. I really don't know what to say about it. Oh, but the reason why I call him Little Nine Lives Reese, like I said earlier, is because he keeps having all these incidents happen to him. Like, think about it. When his ops had got him and they beat him up, even though he pooed on himself, he was lucky, right? That doesn't happen a lot in Chicago. If you're caught lacking, that's basically you're dead. You're going to be stretched out. So he's gotten a lot of close calls. And it's kind of weird too how he's still in Chicago, right? Like Chief Keef moved out of Chicago. Like a lot of them, once they're able to, they leave. But he's still in Chicago kicking. And if he's been able to stay out of trouble, you know what? Larry and I had talked about this about his music, right? I haven't really heard him do anything with music in a while now. I wonder if because of all the shit that he was involved in, that he ended up getting dropped from the label. I wonder if that happened, and that's why we really haven't heard much from him. Oh my God, King Ramon. Little Reese is the rap version of Lansky. I don't know the Lansky guy. All I know is like the stuff that Maine has showed about him, but it's not good. That's crazy. And then there's that guy that comes into behind the bar in the chat that's called his eyebrows or whatever. That's about all I know about the Lansky guy. But that's crazy. That's funny, King Ramon. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I'd like to know what you guys think about it. Or even if you guys heard anything else about it. And you know me, I'm going to bring you guys updates if we find out, like, and that's another thing that's really fucking weird. Nobody's been arrested. You have all those shots going off. Everybody's, those poor guys that were in the vehicle, even if they stole that vehicle. Um, I haven't been able to check, and it goes with the families of people, whether they want their stuff released and if it gets, given to the press or what have you. But all of them were shot the fuck up. Like they really got hit. And like I said, when they were questioned in the hospital, they didn't say anything. So I don't know. I really just don't know. Nobody was arrested. We don't know who in the hell was the shooter. But yet everybody there, except for the owners of the vehicle, was damn near shot up. And like I said, you guys, it was okay. Little Reese had the graze to his cheek, but when the police were reporting on the injuries and everything, they said that he had knots on his head too, like he had been in a fight. And the officer that ended up detaining him while the police were searching the garage was the security officer. So we can't say that Chicago PD beat him up because the security officer got a hold of him when he was outside. I just don't know what's going on. Hopefully, like I said, we get some more info. But yeah, I wanted to know too what people thought about that because, there's the rule of you're not supposed to snitch, right? Even if, you're involved, what have you. And the only people that talked to the police was Reese. he's the one that gave the cops a statement. So I'm not sure, guys. All I know is that that's really crazy. He seems to have a bunch of stuff that follows him around. Oh, and that's another thing too. I guess we know that the girlfriend lives in those apartments also because she had made a video with Reese in her apartment, and people had recognized, or people know for a fact, that those are the apartments, what they look like on the inside. I think 2 or 3 days before this happened. So people were able to put two and two together with that. So he is telling the truth that, you know, a girl that he's talking to does live right there in those apartments. Here's another thing too. Why would he steal a car? Even if he's not currently signed to a label, he's still known enough to where, you know, I mean, he's got money. I'm not pocket watching him, but he's a rapper. He's got money. So why would you steal a Durango? You know, he could probably go out and get his own car if he doesn't have one. It's just that was another thing that was weird too. So we have no idea where the stupid son is of the people that were recording that video talking shit. We don't know where he is. Nobody's being arrested. What else? I don't know. There's just so many. This is weird, guys. I agree, King Ramon. I agree. Yep. Oh, thank you, Jen. Yes, please hit the like if you haven't. Thank you, guys. I'm going to catch up on the comments real quick. That's funny, King Ramon. Yes, thank you, everybody, for coming, too, by the way. Jen said your office is closed, Jen. Nice. Oh, Maine, your office is closed, too? We have offices now? I'm jealous. My office hours are from. What movie was that off of? That is possible, I guess. Yeah, but I don't know, Ramon. Like, you know how Chicago PD, they don't give like one fuck. Like, what movie was that off of? Wasn't that the Five Heartbeats? Mmm. King Ramon says the cops want Little Reese dead normal time. So he's going live tonight. So if you haven't went over there before, it's Larry Beach 247. Make sure you go over there and subscribe. But that's about all I got, you guys. I don't really have anything else to talk about. There's another case that I want to talk about. There's like 2 other ones that I have to do. And I might end up doing that later on tonight just to get it out of the way. Ah, Larry! Yes, NASA. Warnings from above. He should listen. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ooh, Larry said, poor Reese, man, fuck him. You gotta love Larry. Hey, Crypto. How's your Friday going? Larry, you think they should put Lil Reese in the dirt, Larry? That's what you're trying to say? But yeah, guys, I've got I'll probably do 2 of them because they're a little bit shorter. I want to tell you guys so bad, but I can't start talking about it because you know me, I'll end up getting involved in it and then I'll just end up doing it right now. But I'm gonna end up probably doing a little show before Larry. So I can get those out of the way. And everybody, please come to that one too, because that one's going to be interesting. Jen, I know you're going to be working, or Pamela. I want to make sure some of my ladies are over there too, because I want to get, you know, women's opinions on this one. What do you guys think? Like, Jen, what do you guys think about if you watch the video where Little Reese beat up that girl? What do you think about that? That all she was trying to do was tell them to get out of her shit, that she didn't want them, over at her house, and he just, beat her like that. That shit was crazy. And then, how do you beat a girl like that? And then when your ops catch you, you shit on yourself. Huh, that's interesting. Jen. Yeah, right. I think I saw a shirt. I can't remember where it was like, I don't want to adult today or something like that. I agree with you completely and totally. I completely agree. You should, you know what? As much as we have to work and all the shit that you have to do, to make it, or even just live paycheck to paycheck, you should be able to like take a whole year, like, and not. I think like a whole year. I don't know, maybe every like 10 years, you should be able to take a year out of those 10 years, and the government just pays all your bills. You don't have to pay like car insurance, or even just you were allowed to pick a bill. Like you could pick your power, or you could pick your car insurance, or fuck it, your car note, and just not pay it the whole year. Like, wouldn't that be nice? How come nobody ever tries to pass a bill like that, right? Every 10 years, if you pay your bills, you get a whole year off of paying whatever bill you choose. I'm down for that shit. We need to start a petition. Oh, okay, Jen, that's cool. Yeah, just make sure you watch it in between, when you get a chance. Because I want to know, like, Pamela's opinion, or, Jen's opinion. I want you guys to know how bad that really was. That was bad. No, that was just bad. That's awesome, Jen, that you're at your daughter's game, right? So she's in softball. That's awesome. Pamela, and Jen, did you guys ever play sports when you were going to school? You guys want to know something that you probably don't really care about, but I'm going to let you guys know this anyway because it bothers me, and I feel like I have to tell people about it. Listen to this, right? Aw, they call her Mighty Mouse. Aw. So I was walking the dogs earlier, right? And it rained, and it actually rained pretty decent. And sometimes when it rains, you might see a worm or something like that on the road here and there. Maybe a frog, something random like that. Hell, a turtle. I don't give a shit. Whatever. You guys know what I'm talking about. So I walk the dogs and we're down the road. And on the way back, all of a sudden, Jalapeno is like pulling at her leash, right? Like pulling me and pulling me and pulling me. And I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Like, knock it off. And all of a sudden, she just like stops. And I was like, what is wrong with you? And I looked down right into like right in the middle of the road. There's this big ass black snake. I was like, nee! Like, I hate snakes. I literally was said out loud. I was like, yeah, and like I just stopped. And I made sure that the dogs couldn't go too close to it because it you could tell somebody ran over like the ass end of it, but I didn't know if it was alive or not because the head and like most of the body, like a good 75% of its body, was not ran over. And the tail, when we got closer to it, you could tell it got ran over by something. But I don't know if you guys know about in Florida, these damn black snakes, they're endangered, right? So if you see one, you can't kill it. I mean, if it comes in your house and chills on your couch and shit and start eating your snacks and shit, you're supposed to let it do its thing. You are not allowed to do anything to it because they will really put your ass in jail. I don't give a shit. I'm not from Florida like that. I live here now, but whatever. If one of those sons of bitches comes around me and it's gonna get it. Anybody can get it, starting with those. They'd have to catch me or video it to where they're putting me in jail because I don't care. There's no way in hell. But this thing was big. I should have took a picture of it. But I mean, it was like a good 3 feet. Ugh. It was ugh. I hate snakes. But I figured I'd tell you guys that because it bothered me. It was just so gross. And then I'm looking at it, right? And it was dead. Or it was playing dead. And I was looking at it and I was just like, oh God, maybe I should kick it over to the side of the road, you know, not just like leave it in the middle of the road. And then I decided, no, after staring at it for like 10 minutes, I was like, no, because if I kick it, it'll probably just bite me or something. Because it's probably playing dead. It's not really dead. So yeah, that was my interesting thing that happened. Pamela, you played softball and soccer? That's awesome. I loved playing softball. I played volleyball too. Jen. Jen said you were a cool girl in school, huh? King Ramon, soccer, basketball, baseball, football. Damn, King Ramon, what the hell? Is there anything you didn't do? Jeez. Do I see a lot of crocodiles? Well, yes. Okay. You see them like I live on the water, and one good thing, I would say that every body of water in Florida, I would pretty much say is going to have a crocodile or two in it. But hey, Fresh, what they do here though, say like how I live on the lake, right? Say if I go out there one day and I'm just fishing, whatever I'm out there doing, swimming or whatever, if I see a gator, I got to call it in if it's over so many feet. It's hard to know that though because the gators they just kind of stick their eyeballs out of the water. You only really see maybe the top of their nose and their eyeballs. That's it. So you don't really know how big they are unless they kind of go by you or if they're scared or you might catch them because they do come out. They will come out right in your yard and sunbathe. They will sit right there. They come out of the canals, they come out of the lakes, they come out of the everything. And yeah, you do see them. I remember that when we had moved down here and being from up north, the canal that my parents were on, there was a gator, and one thing that tripped us out, right? I didn't know what I thought gators, the noise they made would sound like, but they almost sound like they do little burping noises. But the canal that my parents were living on, there was a gator, and he was probably like 3 feet long, and we nicknamed him. And my parents would go out there and fucking feed him bread and shit. And see, that's how the movie like Placid starts. So like, you're not supposed to do that shit, but being Northerners, like, it was cool to us, and we thought, oh, he's awesome. Like, look at him, he's little, yeah, right. And then my sister's cat ended up getting ate by a gator. It was probably the same one that did it. Now that I'm thinking about it, that's a damn shame. But you end up seeing them and they're not very bothersome. It's just if they get big. You either have to have like some of the people that do yard work around here, every now and then you'll hear of a lawnmower person or like a lawn maintenance person that got their arm bitten off because they'll say if you're on a canal or a lake and the lawn person will go really close to the lake and they'll lean over to like cut branches on something and bam, a gator will jump up from the water and eat their goddamn arm off their body. So that happens. Um, just off the bat not to let your pets go out without you on a leash. There's a video of that. I've got to find it. There was an older guy. He was badass, and his wife was recording him. He's walking his little like Shih Tzu puppy or whatever in the hell it was next to the lake, and here comes this big ass gator, and it grabs the dog right and goes back in the water. Boy, that man, he had a cigar in his mouth too. He had to have been like 75 or up. He jumps in the water with no questions asked, and he grabs that gator and yanks the dog out of its mouth, throws the dog on the shore, and like punches the shit out of the gator. He walks back out of the water. He's still got his cigar in his mouth. Like, I've got to find that video for you guys because I was like, damn, that man was not fucking around about his dog. I know that dog was so lucky too, boy, because oh my goodness, it was a big ass gator. But if they're over, I think it's 5 feet, you've got to call the animal control people and they send somebody out and they'll take it out of your lake or your canal or what have you because they're, they can kill you kind of no matter at what size, but when they're over 5 feet, you're supposed to call it in and they'll come and take them out. Oh, they get into people's pools too. That happens a lot. So you might be, you might have your pool or whatever. And down here, you don't really have to cover them like you do up north, right? So you might go out there to, you saw that video, Fresh? That man was badass. I was like, he didn't even drop his cigar. That guy was great. That guy was great. But what was I talking about? But yeah, they'll get in your pool. And then you got to call people to come and get it out of the pool, which is weird to me, right? Because gators are freshwater. You wouldn't think that they would want to go in a pool with a bunch of chlorine and shit, but I guess they don't care. And they're usually huge gators that do it too. I remember my mom, she ended up moving to a different house and it was on this lake. Oh, I can't remember how many miles wide. This lake was huge. It was like 8 miles long and like 5 miles wide, like just huge. And this was a lake. And I was like, oh, cool. Mom, that's awesome. You can like go boating or do whatever you want to do on that lake. That's cool, right? Because I was up north at the time. And she's like, oh, we can go boating in it. We can go fishing, but it's filled with gators, like literally filled with gators. And everybody knows that you cannot go in the water. Matter of fact, you can't get even that close to it. You better be in a boat that's got, like a pontoon or something where it's got sides to it. So my mom calls me one day and she said that the boat was lifted up in the boat dock they had it on, and she went out there to kind of clean it on the outside. So she said she was dipping her rag or whatever into the water. And she said that she dipped the rag into the water and brought it back up and it had a baby gator attached to it. And I was like, oh, hell no. So yeah, that's Florida life. Shit like that happens. The gators, the lake I live on though, they say there's no gators in this lake. I've never seen one, knock on wood, but the one across the street that's a lot bigger, there's gators over there. But they don't really bother you. Like, I'm not gonna lie. A populated lake where a lot of people live on it, they really don't mess around with those. Or people are just so aware of them that if you see one that's big enough, they call and get it out of there. And I'm not gonna lie, people in Florida are crazy as hell, and a lot of us have guns and shit. So I'm pretty sure they're out there shooting the shit out of a lot of them too. I'm trying to think. Well, ooh, I wonder if you saw this too, Fresh and Jen, because this was on the news too. This was a couple years back. But if you guys have ever seen uh, a lot of people's lawn, the lawn will go, or your grass will go all the way to the base of the lake or to the base of the canal or what have you. And these poor lawn maintenance people, there was a guy that was mowing his grass and he was on a riding lawnmower. Well, he gets right to the edge of like where this lake is and he's just going along mowing the grass. And all of a sudden, a gator came out of nowhere, and thank God he saw it. So he jumps off the mower, right? And the gator actually grabbed the fucking mower and took it into the damn lake. And the only reason why we really know about it is because they put it all over the news because the guy was complaining because he wanted to get his mower back. The gator literally dragged this riding lawnmower into the fucking lake and it was submerged and all types of shit. And he put it all down in the mud and like that shit is wild as hell. And the guy was trying to get somebody to tow it out and everything, but because the gator was so what do you call it? He was so like violent. Nobody wanted to do it. They were all like, "You better go buy another mower." Like, no, I don't know if that guy ever got his mower or not. But yeah, weird shit like that happens in Florida, I'm telling you. I'm trying to think of anything else that was really, really strange to do with gators, except for that one time. I think I told it on Larry's platform where I was driving. It was like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, so it was dark, and I'm going down this highway, and in the distance, it looked like there was a long, and there wasn't any other cars on the road with me, but it looked like there was a dark, just like a piece or a stick that was in half of the road on my lane. So, you're driving. So I'm thinking ahead of time, like, okay, when I get to that stick, I'm just going to swerve and go around it, right? Because there's no other traffic. And I got right up on this so-called stick, or what I thought was. I go to swerve around it. And at the same time, a gator, it was actually the tail of a gator, right? He I couldn't see him at all because the grass on the side of the road was tall. He like switches his body around and his mouth was open and shit like he was gonna eat my car, like no lie, like he swung around like he was ready to bite my car. I was like, oh shit, what the fuck. That scared the shit out of me. I was tired too because it was so late. I was awake after that. And it was funny because I was like talking to myself in the car and I was like, I wasn't gonna hit you, what the hell. That scared the shit out of me, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, stuff like that happens. It's crazy. Jen. Thank you, Pamela. Yeah, how about there's the further south you go, like we've got them here, but you guys know up north where you see the deer crossing signs, or what else do they have up north? Deer crossing. You might see bear crossing. Uh, But anyway, you guys know what I'm talking about. Hey, Lady Fresh, and you'll see the deer crossing signs and everything, right? Well, down here, I'm south enough. We have Black Panther crossing signs. I thought that was so cool. But at the same time, it's kind of scary as shit when you think about it. But yeah, there's signs instead of deer on them for deer crossing. It's Black Panther crossing signs. And then you'll see like what's strange though, there's no gator signs. I guess you're just supposed to assume they're everywhere. Panther signs. I think I said before on one of my shows, one of the weirdest things that is still strange to me down here is that normal roadkill up north is maybe, turtles, rabbits, raccoons, porcupines, deer, stuff like that you'll see hit on the road, or a snake. Down here, you see armadillos all the time. I mean, you see them so much hit on the side of the road that I want to see a live one day. Like, I'm like, oh, like I want to see a live one. And I have now. And they just toddle across your lawn. Like, you know how a rabbit will go, and we've got rabbits down here too, but you know how you might go out with a coffee and sit on your porch or something early in the morning and you see like little rabbits or squirrels or something. All of a sudden, here's an armadillo just walking across the yard, like, doo, 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 doo. And they're really like, docile. Like, you can get really close to them. And they trip me out because I'm not used to them. It was funny one time, I was like, oh, I want to go pet it. My mom was like, don't touch that thing. And I was like, oh, man. Yes, Jen. I'll have to see if I can get a picture of one because I know that one night, I think I talked about this on Larry's platform or mine, I can't remember. But my wiener dog, Jalapeno, which you guys all hear in the background all the time, but I had my windows open and it was really late. It was like 3:30, quarter to 4 in the morning. I couldn't sleep. And I hate being in this big ass house by myself, in the first place. But she ran to my window and she was like growling. And it really freaked me out because she does not do that. She'll bark if she hears something or voices or something like that. But she doesn't just growl. And I don't think she had ever ran up to my window like that. And I was like, oh my God, somebody's like trying to break in here and like, do whatever, right? So I had to get like, my balls together and get the, I got like my bat, couple knives, flashlight. I was ready to go outside and look and see what the hell it was, right? Because she wouldn't get away from the window. She stood there and stood there. And then I took my phone, you guys, and I shined it out there trying to see. I couldn't see anything. And then I was like, well, if there was a killer out there, right, I just let him know exactly where I was at. That was stupid. But anyway, so I end up going outside to do a perimeter check. And I toddle around to the corner of the house where my window was. And I'm all like scared to look around the corner and shit. And I do it all at one time. I'm like, boom, and I turn the corner and I've got the light. And it was an armadillo. It was like probably a teenage armadillo because he wasn't really small, but he wasn't big. And he's just sitting there at the bottom of my window, just like messing with shit. Like, he was rooting like in the wood chips and stuff. And I was like, how's it going? And he just kind of looked at me and I looked at him and he kind of looked at me and I looked at him and I was like, okay, well, it's an armadillo. I'm going to take my ass back in the house. So I was glad it was just that, right? But at the same time, I thought later on, wouldn't it be convenient if somebody was trying to break into your house and you heard a noise? You take your dumb ass outside, you see a wild animal like an armadillo or something, and you're like, oh, phew, it wasn't a person, right? But it really was a person. Your ass just thought that it was the animal that was out there. Yeah, I thought about that a couple hours later. Because once I saw the armadillo, I didn't clear the other side of the house. So I learned that lesson. Oh, chipmunks. Chipmunks are so cute. Oh no, Jen. Oh, I feel so bad for you. Ah, your son wants a snake. Ah. You hear all those stories about people that have snakes and they go to clean the cage and they lose the damn snake and shit. And then it's, oh, no, no, ma'am. No. Ah, you guys can have that shit. That's a thing down here too. People find snakes in their toilet and for some reason, or their pool, or they'll be in the AC vents. Like, oh my God. And down here, people have like big ass pythons, just these big ass snakes. Like, how do you lose, like a 15-foot snake? How the hell does that happen? And not only do you lose it, but it gets outside in the neighborhood and shit. How does that happen? But a lot of people down here, they get pets, and when they get bigger, they don't want them anymore, so they release them into the wild. So you get like big ass python snakes around here. You know, you'd get gators too, because people will buy baby gators and not want to take care of them, so they release those. Yeah, I know there was one lady that had a python in her toilet. I still don't know how he did that because they took a picture of it and it was coiled all up in her toilet, but he was huge. Like he could have pushed the seat up and just did whatever like that. No, no, no. One of my biggest fears, you guys, is like getting in your bed. I used to be scared of this when I was in the military and we were out in the field. But getting into your bed and having like something at the bottom of the covers, like a snake or like, oh God. Oh, I think I would die. Hey, Harlem. Yeah, Jen, that's true. I forgot you guys do have that dragon. You almost sat on a spider. Oh God. I didn't think about that before. Now I'm gonna think about that. How have you been doing, Harlem? Oh wow, Jen, you had a chipmunk infestation. I gotta hear that story. When I do my show later, I might have to hear that. Oh, you're gonna be at work later. Damn it. We're gonna have to do that though, Jen, to where you can come up and tell me that because I gotta hear about that story. Oh wow, Harlem, really? There's egg eating snakes? That's crazy. So do they just eat eggs? I want to know more. No, Jen, real. Oh my God, Jen, I have to see. I have to see. I have to see. They swim? I can't even picture a little chipmunk swimming. Eee, that's so cute. I would rather have, well, I can say that because I'm not going through it. It probably sucked, but I would rather have like a chipmunk infestation than have like a rat infestation or like a, I don't know, like a bug infestation or anything like that. Yes, you do, Jen. I'm gonna hold you to that. That sounds so, they sound so cute, but like I said, I didn't go through it. I can imagine one of them are cute, maybe three, but not when you're infested with them and you've got like a million. Oh my goodness. Is that normal where you live at? Like, can you imagine being a pest controller and somebody calls you up and they're like, hey, yeah, I was just wondering what the estimate would be, to have you guys come out and take care of an infestation that I have. And the guy on the phone is like, oh, okay, sure, no problem. What do you have? Like roaches, bees, a couple of mice, what's going on? No, I have chipmunks. What the hell? Oh my God. Your neighbor was feeding them? See, that's how Lake Placid started. That's crazy. That is crazy. Have you guys ever seen somebody that has a pet skunk? I had a friend up north that actually had a pet skunk. And she said that it was okay. It would just walk around the house and stuff. I never held it or anything like that because I was so scared it was going to like scent me or whatever they do. But she said that they had his scent glands removed, but that's not good enough for me. My mom had ferrets, and ferrets have like a scent to them. And even though they were descented, they still had a smell. So I'm not risking it with a damn skunk. But it was weird seeing that shit just walk around. Fresh said, LOL, when I was a teenager, I was in Aruba, and I went to go to the bathroom, and I heard something splashing around, and oh my God. Fresh, no. Ew. Like a Florida lizard, like those baby lizards, or like a iguana lizard. The way you made that comment, it was probably an iguana. Oh my Lord, no. How in the hell did it get in there? Like even with a snake, right? I'm like, how the hell did it get in there? But snakes can adjust and they can thin themselves out and do shit like that. So I can get maybe a snake, but on a that's that's different. Oh my God, Jen, camel spiders, get the fuck. You should see the look on my face right now. Camel spiders are made by the devil. Oh, it was a small iguana? Okay. Still, why in the hell was he in the toilet? Maybe he was thirsty. Maybe he came in from like the top and he knocked the lid down or something. Because if he came through the bottom, that's he was like, go feet, go, going through the sewer system like ticka 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 ticka. Camel spiders are made by the devil, Jen. They're horrible. And if anybody doesn't know what one looks like, Google that shit and press images. I don't even want to talk about it. Fresh, no. You flushed him. That's horrible, Fresh. I don't know. I might have done the same thing though, and just tried to like forget about it. I'm such an animal lover, you guys. It's horrible. Like I hate frogs. Like I don't hate frogs. Like I'll run from them or anything. But let me tell you, I like at nighttime around here because of the lakes. I like to hear the frogs because they make like these noises. Of course, they ribbit, but there's a noise that they make. I can't interpret it, but they make like this different kind of noise, and it's really cool to listen to. Well, I kind of figured that the frogs in Florida, right? You don't see many, and I kind of figured that they would be like up north frogs, right? I'm pretty sure that frogs, you hear about the like, what is it, the rainforest frogs that are colorful and they can like, if you lick them, you trip or like whatever. But I figured Florida frogs were pretty much like up north frogs. So one day my mom asked me to take the garbage out or whatever, and I'm like, okay, cool. It had just rained, and I walk outside with the trash, and I happen to look over, and there is the biggest, ugliest, nastiest toad I have ever seen in my life, just sitting there on the porch staring at me, and I'm just like, what the fuck? And I like threw the trash. I ran back inside, and I was like, my mom's like, oh, did you dad? I said, Mom, no, I didn't. I said, I'm not going back out there and you can't make me. And she's like, what is wrong with you? And I'm like, there's a toad this size of the car outside, okay? I'm not, no, give me the gun. Like, I'm about to shoot this son of a bitch. And she's like laughing so hard, she's crying, right? And she's like, oh, I've never seen a frog out there. You must have saw something else, and you probably scared it anyway. Da, 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 da. She didn't believe me. So I was like, Mom, open the front door and look. Like you're gonna see the trash bag that I threw about 5 feet to the left, okay? And I look to the right, and there's that big ass. It was just sitting right there. So tell me why. Of course, my mom goes to look out, and there's no damn toad. Just the trash that I threw. So now I look like an asshole. So I'm like, damn, now I gotta. Okay, now I gotta go back out there. And then I thought, like, okay, it's gone anyway, right? Or I was literally losing my shit. So I tiptoed back outside, and I had thrown the trash like to the side. It ended up in like the flower bed. So now I have to go over there where I really think the toad probably went. So I grabbed the trash bag real quick and I like run over to the trash bin, throw it in there, and like run my ass back in the house, right? And I was like, whew, maybe I'm just going crazy. Maybe I didn't see it, right? Maybe it wasn't as big as I thought it was. So let me tell you, later on that night, I had to go back outside for something. I don't know what in the hell it was. And you guys, no lie, I go outside, I close the door. I can't remember what I was getting. I turned around to go back in the house, and in between me and the dang door is this freaking toad again. The same one, the ugly, nastiest, biggest, wart infested damn toad you could ever see in your life. He's right there, and he's in between me and the house and the door. So now I can't. It's me and this toad. Like we got a showdown now. Like I can't jump over him because he's a damn toad. He'll jump if I jump, and he's eyeballing me. You know how frogs, their eyes go. He's looking at me, okay, like looking at me like he's like, come on, bitch, let's get some. I can't go in the back door, right? Because I was like, if I go around to the back of the house and go in the back door, you know, um, it might jump sideways. Like I'm thinking all these weird things. Like I just like the toad. I'm thinking he wants to fight me because like he won't move and he's looking at me like he has a vendetta. So after about standing there for like 3 or 4 minutes, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be smart. I'm gonna go get a stick or something, right? And I'm just gonna like poke this son of a bitch, and hopefully he jumps the other way and not towards me. So I'm running around in the yard. And of course, I'm like, when is my mom going to come to the door? Like, hey, are you okay? No. Like, she didn't check on me. I was outside for like 45 minutes. She didn't even come looking, nothing. So, like, I'm in the yard and I'm looking around for something I can poke this thing with. I ended up finding the rake, okay, because I couldn't find a stick. Plus, it was dark. So I flipped the rake around to where the handle is pointing towards the toad, right? And I was like, okay, I'm thinking in my head exactly what I'm going to do play by play, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm going to poke slightly. I'm going to poke the toad, and I'm going to poke him kind of from the side so he'll jump away from me. When he jumps away, I'm going to drop the rake, run to the door, and like barrel my ass inside, okay? That's my plan in my head. That's how it's going to work. It didn't turn out that way at all. So I do exactly what I told you guys I thought I was going to do. I inch towards this damn thing, and I'm towards the side of him, and I poke him, and he literally jumps closer to me. He didn't jump to the side that I thought he was going to jump to. and he jumps closer to me. So when he jumps closer to me, I scream, drop the rake, and jump backwards and bust my ass in the driveway. So now I'm literally on the ground. So I think he's gonna jump on top of me and shit. So like this all happens in seconds. So like I'm glad I can laugh about this now. But anyway, I ended up getting up really quick because I'm like, oh my God, where's the toad? Where's the toad? Because I couldn't see him. All I knew is he jumped towards me. And he's that gray brownish color, so he blends in with everything. So I jump up really quick, and remember it's dark. So and mom didn't have any lights on outside, so I jump up really quick, and I'm looking, and I'm like, shit, where is he? Where is he? And I've dropped the rake, so I can't use the rake anymore, right? Because now the rake is on his side. So oh, and by the way, he wasn't making any noise, so I couldn't. He didn't rivet or anything, so I couldn't tell where he was until I really like saw him. So I get back up and I like run like, yeah, I run like 10 feet more backwards away from the house. And I'm looking and I'm looking and I'm looking and looking and I don't see him, right? So I'm like, okay, well, it's cool. Even though I busted my ass, I can just run in the house. And my mom has like the front door of a house, which everybody knows what that looks like. She's got these little flower plants that are right one on each side of the door. And, you know, just to let you guys know that that's there. So I don't see him, and after about 5 minutes, I'm like, okay, I'm good. I'm just gonna run in the house. Meanwhile, like I said, my mom had didn't check on me or anything. She thought it was not weird at all that I was outside for almost an hour, screaming and shit. So I go to barrel it, like run in the house, right? And she's got two doors, one like glass door you open up, and then like a wooden door that you close, right? So I've got to open two damn doors before I can even get in the house. I run up to the door. I put my hand on the glass door to twist it and open it. And the minute that I go to open that door, it suctioned a little bit. And guess who jumps out behind the fucking flower pot to the left of me that's right there next to where I'm standing? The fucking toad. And I'm not kidding. This shit legit happened. He jumped out, but at least he jumped out towards the, you know, like the side of me, not towards the door. I almost had a heart attack. I whipped that door open. I ran in through the wooden door, closed the wooden door, and latched the locks on it. That's when my mom's like, what's wrong with you? And I'm just like, oh my God, I almost died. Like, you didn't even care. I left her the glass door open and everything. And I didn't tell her either. She ended up finding out a couple hours later and I had to close it. But that was okay because, like, you know, he was gone by then. But I'm not going to lie. I might sound like, you know, a pussy for that, but that toad had death in its eyes, y'all. For real. So the frogs down here are nothing to fuck with. I couldn't believe how big that thing was. Like, if I had just explained to you guys what he was like, what could I say his size was compared to? He was probably, okay, let me see. I'm looking around trying to think of somebody to compare him to. He would be the size of, like, you guys, okay, you guys know what a coffee can is? Like, if you get those big coffee cans of coffee that are like the metal coffee cans, like the round ones. I don't remember how much coffee's in them, but like those tins, not the little ones, but the round big ones, like the biggest size of coffee you can get in the store. He was that, okay? He was that big, that tall. He was that fucking fat, and yes. Like if a restaurant would have caught him, they would have had hella frog legs. Oh God, he was so big, it was disgusting. Yep, I almost got took out by a toad, y'all. I'm reading the comments, guys. Let me see. Oh no, Lady Fresh, you. Ooh, let me go back and read that. Hold on. We've all got these horror animal stories. Okay, Lady Fresh says there was a spider in the car the other day. It was crawling on the dash of my daughter, and I almost died. This little. No way. What? It was furry and it had a green mouth. What in the? Oh hell no! Now I gotta read and see what you did. Oh, hold on, Harlan. Oh my gosh, she tried to get it with her shoe and it jumped on her. How many times does that happen, you guys? You go to kill something, any kind of a bug, right? And it jumps on you. Oh my God. You guys got out of the car and started running. I'm dead. Oh no. That always happens though. A spider gets in your car somehow, and then you just are driving along and you happen to see maybe a web or the actual spider, and you're just like, that wasn't there like, a minute ago. Like, what the hell? Oh my gosh, that's crazy, Lady Fresh. What Jen say? Jen, don't you do that. If you see animals in the road, right? Let me tell you what my mom told me years and years ago when I started driving. My mom had a friend that she went to college with, right? And she said that her friend was coming home from a party one night and there was a deer in the road. And she was like us. She loved animals or whatever. She ended up swerving to not hit the deer. And she ended up going off the side of this embankment and she died. Like her car rolled so many times, she died because she had swerved from that deer. So if I can give you guys any kind of advice, like my mom told me, it's the animal or you. Like I love animals to death, but if it came down to it, you know, hit it. Because, if you swerve and you lose control, you can end up you can die. And of course, you don't think that, right? When you come up to an animal like that, your reaction is going to be to not hit it. That's like if you're driving and somebody almost like say they don't pay attention and they almost hit you like crossing a lane. Your reaction is to like swerve out of the way. That's just human reaction. But I'm telling you, and I don't even think it was snowy if I remember the story right. I think it had just rained or something, so the roads were a little bit slick. But she ended up dying from that because she tried to swerve so she wouldn't hit the deer. So make sure if it comes down to it, if you're not on level ground where you could just drive off, if there's any kind of embankment, you run over that animal. All right, back to the spider. Yeah, Larry. Long-legged Larry. You got to play that tonight, Larry. We haven't heard the frog song in a while. Oh, Jen, you say, do you want to know what that means? Jen, remember the song that Larry plays, his frog song? The Larry Frog or whatever? That's what he says in the song. A moth, Pam? Oh, you guys don't want to know how deathly scared of centipedes I am. I will literally jump on the ceiling if I see a centipede. I don't care how small it is. I don't care. Man. Those things are not normal. That's crazy, Lady Fresh, you poor thing. Fresh. Yes, don't do that, Jen. Don't end up dying over swerving to miss a squirrel. Do not do it. Don't. What the hell, Lady Fresh? No. It was a jumping spider, so when you went to hit it, that's why it jumped. I can't deal. They actually make those a jumping spider. Spiders are, oh, good. No, I cannot. Oh, that's horrible. Have you guys ever tried to look up something, insect wise or anything like that? Like when I was down by the lake one day, right? I was cutting down a whole bunch of grass that had grown up pretty tall, and I ended up seeing a snake. Now, get this, right? This is why one of the reasons I don't like snakes because you can be standing in a part of your yard and nothing's around you. And then you happen to look down and there's a snake right there. And you're like, how in the I just was here and there was no snake. So where the fuck did you come from? Okay? You just were not there. They're sneaky. I can't stand those things. So I'm down there and I had just cut a whole bunch of grass, okay? I go up on the dock and I'm looking where I just cut the grass. And sure enough, a snake comes like slithering out of under the grass pile I just made. And when I looked at his color, he was banded, which is never a good fucking look. And he was a rust color and like he was like yellow and rust, and he was banded. So I immediately run my ass back up to the house. And I ended up trying to look it up, right? And I looked up like Florida snakes, Florida poisonous snakes, Florida non-poisonous snakes, whatever in the hell, Florida snakes. I could not find that snake anywhere at all. Nowhere. And to this day, I'm like, I've probably got some sort of hybrid killer fucking snake down there that, oh my God, I'm all free. I do not know what that snake is. I even asked my neighbor about it one day. And they were like, oh, it's probably a water moccasin or whatever, right? And I'm like, no. I looked at the images of the water moccasin and it did not look like that at all. So, but yeah, Jen, don't do that. Everybody listening, do not swerve to miss an animal. Do not do it. Unless, like I said, if you're driving and you've got level ground on both sides of the road where if you swerve, you could just drive your ass into the field or something, then maybe. But don't do it if you're on any kind of ditch, any kind of embankment, snow, whatever in the hell. Because, don't lose your life over an animal. Period. No, you didn't, Jen. She said jumping spiders are so cute. Uh-uh. I'm good. Yes, Fresh. Lady Fresh, do not swerve for any animals. You guys have got to. You guys have to have the experience I have. Am I the only one that is minding my business, driving down the road, no matter where the fuck I'm going? Say, you could be anywhere, and you see a squirrel. And you see the squirrel while you're driving. It's usually you're not going that fast. It's usually you're in residential or some shit like that. And the squirrel is on the side of the road. And you're thinking to yourself, okay, please don't run out in front of me. Don't be that stupid. Just wait till I drive by. And they never do. Every time you get the closest to them, that's when they want to fucking run up to your car. And then they end up getting underneath you and you try to swerve to get, oh my Jesus. A squirrel did that to me once. And I ended up hitting him, not on purpose, but he literally ran right under my tire, right? And I cried like for half the day. Like I was so sad and ruined over that. I couldn't believe it. Like that traumatized the shit out of me. Because I hate it because you sit there and tell them like, no, just stay there. Don't run under my car. I mean, how are you that damn stupid? Like squirrels will literally get you into an accident. Oh no, Lady Fresh, a dog. Aww. Jen. Okay, I can't be a pussy, Jen, so I'm going to let you show me the picture of the jumping spider one day, right? But even if I say it's cute, I wouldn't hold them, Jen. That's creepy. That is creepy. I've never even heard of those, Jen. I remember when I was at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, right? They have brown recluse spiders there, and those are the ones that if they bite you, it literally will like eat your skin away, and they have to like cut like wherever you've been bit. You have to figure it out that you've been bit by one of those things within like 24 hours. It's like acid where they bite you and it will eat your skin away. Like it makes your skin rot and die. So you've got to get it treated like ASAP. And I remember there was a guy that was out in the field with us one time and he had gotten bit right by his armpit. And he didn't even know it for like a couple hours. I don't know how in the hell he didn't know it. And when he lifted up his arm, it was like a circle the size of a baseball. And it was like a hole. Like, oh, I think that's why. I think when they bite you, they have some sort of numbing agent in their bite to where you don't feel it like you normally would. But I still can't believe that he had a fucking hole in his arm the size of that. Like, how do you not feel that? But they had to take him to the hospital and they ended up having to cut a big chunk of like that part of his arm away. Those brown recluse spiders are nothing to mess with. Yes, fresh. Yep. The brown recluse. Yep. And can you please tell me, they tried to show us pictures of what they look like, and I've seen them in real life and everything else, but they say they have like, they kind of look like they have a little violin on their back. But I still, animals are so close together. It's so hard to be like I'd see one and I would just get to where I would assume every single spider was one of those. So then I would just keep my distance. But it's almost like you'd be like, okay, is that one or is that not one? Because it kind of looks like it is one, but it's not. I can't tell. Like it's not trying to question that at all. Are they really harmless, Jen? Jen, if you're holding those damn spiders, you've never had one turn around and just jump on your head and shit. Like you've never lost one. Like they're real small, right? And if they jump, you guys want to hear a funny story too? Have you guys ever gotten? I like to have like fish tanks. Have you guys ever had like the little teeny baby crabs? You can buy little teeny crabs and put them in your fish tank. They are so mischievous. Crabs are horrible, y'all. I got like 3 crabs. I had all these different fish. I think I had like 5 or 6 little fish in this tank, and it was a 75-gallon, so it was decent size. And I went to the pet store one day, and they had the little crabs, and I was like, "Oh my god, I have to get some!" Like, how can you can't, right? So I got 3 little crabs. I was gonna try them out and see. Well, in my fish tank, I had to have it super fancy, so I had like all these bubble wands and like all these little different like things. I have a big ass Black Hawk helicopter in the middle of it and everything. And one day I was out of the house and I come home and I just happened to turn the light on the tank and I happened to look in it and I'm looking at the fish because I had one pregnant at the time. And I'm looking and I'm like, where are the crabs? They're not there. Where are they? Because they would always go and sit on a certain part of my Black Hawk. So I'm looking around and I'm like, maybe they're just sleeping inside of it or something. Like, where are they? No. Tell me why my friend stopped by while I'm doing this. And she's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, bro, this might sound crazy, but I can't find my crabs, okay? Like, I was like, they literally aren't in here. I don't know where they went, right? And she's just looking around, like, around the fit. Okay, they're on the floor. She happened to look down by the fish tank, and 2 of the little crabs were on my carpet chilling, like, just on the floor. Now, I had this 75-gallon probably about 4 feet up in the air on a stand. And if you add the height of the tank to it, it was probably about almost 6 feet high. So they did a 6 feet drop onto the floor and we're just down there hanging out. She was like, they're right here, they're on the floor. I was like, stop lying. Like, they don't, how could they be on the, and I'm like, yeah, that's them. So I ended up putting them back in the tank, right? And I was like, that's so weird. Like, how the hell did they get out of the tank? So I ended up sitting there for a long time, right? Me and my friend are watching this tank because I'm like, they're going to do it again. Like, they won't be able to help it. If they've done it once, they're going to do it again. These damn crabs were riding the bubbles of the bubble wand. The bubbles were pushing them up to like almost to the surface of the tank. So they were riding the bubbles up and then they would hurry up and like float across to the filter. Then they would climb the filter and jump off of it onto the floor. And I was like, what in the fuck? Like, they don't tell you that when you buy these shits, right? At the store. And I was like, get the fuck out of here. So it became like a game to where it was like me and the crabs, like every day I'm trying to like figure out ways to keep them in the tank. Every day they're trying to figure out ways to get out. Like that shit was wild. They would fight each other all the time and shit. Like they were crazy. And they were just those itty bitty teeny crabs. I forget what they're called. But they're hilarious. But if you ever get any, be careful. Because they're mischievous. They will get out over and over and over again. Okay. I'm reading the comments now. You never had one jump on your head? That would freak me out, especially like if it gets in your hair. Oh god. Hey, have you guys ever been outside and your friends like, don't move? Why, when people tell you that, the first thing you want to do is jump the hell up and start, like going crazy, like, ah, what's on me? What's on me? Why do people say that? Why don't they just whatever's on you? Why don't they just scoot it off of you, right? Why are people always like, whatever you do, don't move? You know you're gonna flip that person out and that person's gonna lose their shit. Like, I hate it when people do that. The Lady Fresh said that was a big ass spider, Jen. Hey, Mr. Orange. He said, what about Daddy Longlegs? Oh, yeah. There's tons of Daddy Longlegs out here. Have you ever heard that the suspicion is if you kill a Daddy Longlegs, it'll rain? They are really cool spiders, though. They really are. They're very harmless. Actually, I think they could, okay, how does it go? I think they're venomous, but they can't bite us. Like for some reason, the width of their mouth or their fangs, like they can't bite us. They only live for a day. I thought they lived longer than that. That's crazy. Yeah, those things are all over everywhere, or out here by the lake. Like they're everywhere out here. Oh, I was right, Jen. Uh-huh. See? Oh, I was right. I was right. Hee. I knew I was right about that. That's crazy. So literally, I've got like the most venomous spider. I've got like a million of them outside on my porch. That's crazy. I never knew that. Pamela, ew. Okay, I'm gonna act like I didn't read that, Pamela. I still love you, but I'm not. I'm not. I'm gonna act like I didn't read it. Nope, not gonna read that because I pictured it in my head, and that's good enough for me. No, ma'am. What's going on, Harlem?
What's up, little sis? How you been?
I'm all right. How have you been?
Oh man, everything cool, eh?
That's good. That's good. What do you got planned for the weekend?
For the week, I work on the weekend. I'll be off for the week.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can't
I
hear
do
you
work.
that well. Is there any way you can like?
Now I
I
was
don't
saying
know.
I go to. You can hear me better now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying I go to work on the weekends. Like I go to work Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then I'll be off Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That.
Oh, okay, okay. I gotcha. I gotcha.
Hmm.
Everything's good besides that.
Yeah, everything good, man. Money coming in, doing what I'm supposed to do. You know, man, can't complain. You dig? I had to
That's
call out for work today though, because it was raining like a motherfucker. You
Oh,
know?
it's raining up there too. It rained a little bit down here.
Now it was raining and hailing. At the same
Oh
time, it
wow.
stopped though. It stopped. But when I was leaving out to go to work, that shit was coming down like a motherfucker. So I said, man, fuck this shit. I'm finna go back in the crib and I'm calling out. I'm gonna use a little personal date and that's that. You hear me?
There you go.
So I saw
Yeah,
you
that
was
hail
live
is
and
nothing to
shit.
play with.
Nah, like that shit was crazy. Like my clothes was soaked. I couldn't even make it to work. You know what I
Oh
mean?
wow.
Yeah, I couldn't even make it. Umbrella ain't do shit. You feel me? Like I went
Yeah.
out there for like 2 minutes and I was soaked. I said, man, I can't go to work like this. And you know I'm a butcher, so I work in the cold.
Right.
So I can't go in with my clothes wet and all that. So I guess it just wasn't meant for me to go to work today. You feel me?
True. True. Well,
Yeah,
that's
so I
good. You get a
decided,
little bit of a day to kick back a little bit. Like you said though, if you would have been soaked like that, and then you go into the that cool air like that, ugh.
nah, you can't do that. I'd have got
Right.
sick.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just chilling right now. You know what I mean? I said, man, go back home and just smoke some weed and drink some liquor and just enjoy the Friday. I saw you was live, so I was like, let me jump on this joint. You know what I mean? I see Lil Sis doing her little live stream a little early. You normally go on a little later than this. So I was like, you know what I
Right.
mean? That shit else to do. Fuck with Lil Sis. But I would have normally been at work right now. You know what I mean? You know, I like working
Right.
too. You
Right.
know what I mean? I like working.
Well, I'm
But
glad you came by because I haven't talked to you in a while, and I know that I'm trying to think. I think I was on King Troll's page a couple of days ago or something, and I saw you had popped up over there, and I was like, oh, look at Harlem.
yeah, I think I did come through there. I was at McDonald's and shit. But me and him kind of got we. I think me and him kind of got to it. You know what I mean? But I be jumping. I be everywhere. You know what I mean? I be
It
on them.
wasn't. See, what happens is it wasn't okay. How can I explain this? After a certain time at nighttime, he gets off of the panel, but he leaves it up so the people can, be up there just talking to each other or whatever. He wasn't on there. You were talking to Old Head. Do you know who Old Head is?
Now I don't know that nigga.
Okay, that's the one. I think if I remember, his avatar says like Old Head Deuce, but that's the one you were talking to was Old Head. So that's not his channel. He's just one that he goes up there all the time.
Right. I don't be giving a fuck because I be twisted. I be twisted sometimes. Like I only get on this shit when I'm twisted or I'm about to get twisted. So I jump on this shit. You know what I mean? I be feeling good and I just be talking to motherfuckers, random motherfuckers sometimes. You know what I mean? I be twisted. I be feeling good. So I be like, let me hop on here and contribute to the conversation. You dig? It don't be that serious.
True.
Uh, well, so, like I was telling you, yo, Els, get that phone real quick, man. That shit on the back. Yo, but like I was telling you, right? You got the Shorty said some spam shit. Hang up on them niggas. But like Shorty said, right? She wanted Snake for her son.
Right.
I was telling her get a snake. I was telling her get
That always happens when he's up here. I don't know what happens to his phone or what he presses, but he just dips. Well, Harlem, the link's down there if you want to come back up. Right when it was getting to the good part, too. Damn it, man. I wanted to ask him about that egg snake. I've never even heard of one of those. Maybe that's kind of like a paint turtle or something where it's like a harmless, but I don't give a shit. When he comes back up here, I don't give a damn if it eats eggs. I don't give a damn if it eats flies. I don't give a damn if it eats roaches, and I hate roaches with a passion. But I still am not going to mess with any kind of snake. I just no. You just wake up and it's chilling like right next to you. No, I don't care if you nail down the top of that thing's whatever's on top of the cage. No, I'm not going to trust it. No. Okay, Mr. Orange, you said it's an egg eat. Okay, so does it just eats like regular, like the people eggs that we eat? Does it eat them hard boiled, scrambled, or like I'm being funny, but like it really just eats eggs? So like you wouldn't have to feed it like you know how some people will get dead mice or whatever and freeze them and then feed them to their snakes and stuff. You wouldn't have to do that. You would just have to boil some eggs and throw them at them. Ooh, or do you have to feed them like unboiled eggs, like right out of the carton? Yes, Pamela, I'm taking it there. You know me, I have to analyze everything. There's details I want to know. I ask things like that. Knowledge is power, Pamela. It might be completely useless that I would never need to know it, but I would know it. Oh, okay. Ew, Mr. Orange. So it eats itself, basically. It's a cannibal. If it eats other snakes' eggs, now I don't think it's that nice of a snake. We used to have a parrot, and one time my mom, it kept wanting to, it would sit on her shoulder all the time and want to eat while she'd be, you know, eating or cooking or whatever. And one day she was eating a hard boiled egg and it kept on trying to peck at the egg. So she got a little piece of it and fed it to it. And I was like, Mom, you're feeding it itself. Like, that's wrong. You're right, Pamela. Geckos are cute, though. Well, no, hold on. Wait a minute. The lizards that are down here in Florida that are all over the place in your house that drop their tail, which is not normal at all. I think they come from space or another dimension because you shouldn't be able to drop your tail and just grow it back. You know, that's not normal. So I look at them, you know, I don't like those, whatever you call them down here. They're everywhere. But I don't think those are geckos. All I know is I just can't get down with them. Every time I go to open, you know, you'll open a closet, any door, period. And there's always one on the top of the door ledge, and it always flops down like a, ugh, God, I hate it. I agree with you, Pamela, right? Spiders, all of them. All spiders are poisonous. I'm looking at all snakes like they're poisonous. I'm looking at all everything like, ooh, let me tell you guys, in Florida, right? When it gets right when the sun is starting to go down, where it's not dark completely, but it's almost like, what do they call that? Like dusk, I think. One day I was outside and I was outside with my stepsons, right? And I thought it was a bird. I was pulling moss, the Spanish moss out of a tree. And I thought two birds had flown out, but they had swooped down really close to my head and shit, of course. And I was like, whoa. And I jumped back and I was like, dang, they must have a nest up there. And my stepson was like, no, that's a bat. I was like, what? It's a what? And he was like, no, that's a bat. You see them all the time when it's almost dark. You'll see, if you look up, you'll see them, you know, they fly, they're small. So I start freaking out, of course, right? And I'm just like, what do you mean it's a bat? And you're acting like that's normal shit. Like, that's not normal. I shouldn't be seeing a bat unless I'm in a cave or I'm on the movie Pitch Black and I'm opening up like something that hasn't been opened in 20 plus years. Like you should not be running into bats in your yard while you're messing with a tree. But that's one thing that's down here. Like they have teeny teeny little bats and they just hang out like birds. Makes no sense to me at all. It's another reason why Florida is weird as shit. What'd Fresh say? I hate snakes. Came across one a few years ago. Ah, Fresh said he massacred him. Oh my god. Really, Lady Fresh? That's crazy. Dang, Fresh. You didn't have to get that descriptive, bro. There's pieces all up. Ew. I get the point. I get the point. Wow, Lady Fresh, you guys have okay. Are they small, grayish colored bats? because that's the kind that's down here. They're probably the palm of your hand, like not your whole hand, but like the palm of your hand, and they're like a grayish, pretty much a gray color. And I haven't gotten face to face with one like that, but to know like all the details. But they the yeah, they're like a gray color. I wouldn't really say brown. That's crazy. Oh my God, Lady Fresh. Okay, you can't leave us on a cliffhanger like that. Did he bring it home or no? What was your dad gonna do with the bat? Why do you guys do shit like that? Oh, look, honey, I found this. Feed it. What? Okay, what Fresh say? They're brownish and bigger than the palm of your hand. Oh wow, so you guys notice that up north too, right? Like the rats up north are like the size of small dogs and shit. Everything up north is like so big. No, Lady Fresh, that is hilarious. I agree. I agree completely. I would have done the same thing. If you bring that damn thing home, I'm gonna be gone. And everything else in the house. He used to bring all types of stuff home. Aw. How in the world? Ah, he just came across a bat one day and was like, hey, I've got it in this box. Yeah, look at Jen. Look at Jen. Jen's all ready for it. Bring it home and take care of it. Jen, no. No, there's nothing wrong with you, Jen. It's just the animal. No bats. You got to be careful with those damn things because, a lot of those have the rabies. And if they bite people and you get the rabies, like you'll die. Like if you don't catch rabies within a certain amount of hours from bats, like it'll kill you big time. And apparently it's like it's really painful and like, oh goodness, not a good thing. Aw, my dad got like that with me, Lady Fresh, a little bit because I'd have a friend at school or something and they'd be like, oh, you want a dog because we got to get rid of it? And I'm like, sure. I wasn't bringing home bats though. I stuck to like cats and dogs and things of that nature. That's hilarious. I'm really curious too because if you guys think about it, right? How in the world, if you get even a squirrel or like she was talking earlier about chipmunks or stuff like that, you could go somewhere and usually get food or like baby formula or whatever, you know what I mean, to feed it. What in the holy hell are you supposed to feed a bat? Like that is crazy. You just let it come and sit on your shoulder and bite you and shit. Oh my God, Jen, don't bring up ticks. Please don't bring up ticks. I am so deathly scared of ticks. And I got one when we were out in the field in the military, and I like freaked out. I'm like, oh, I'm not going there. I'm not going to tell that story. Jen, do you remember you guys? Okay, shit, where did that happen, you guys? Everybody in here, we're pretty much spread out across everywhere, right? Wasn't it a couple years ago where they were having? Oh shit, I think it was in Florida. I think it was in Florida, but they were having like problems with bed bugs in hotels around here, and it wasn't even like in bad hotels. Well, I mean, they were in bad hotels, but they were getting to where they were like in really top-notch hotels, and they ended up having to spray like every hotel around. I mean, it was crazy. It was like a bed bug breakout in Florida or something. It was crazy. Really, Larry? But that's not all bats, right? Or do they all eat fruit, but some, eat, other animals? Oh my God, Lady Fresh, that's hilarious. Yeah! She said her dog Trixie was a Chihuahua. That's cute. He brought it home in his pocket. Oh, tut, tut, tut. She licked up a beer and ran. I'm dead. That's funny. Jen, I forgot about that, Jen. Why you had to bring up Corona? Jen, no. That's funny, Lady Fresh. One of my really close friends up north, she had a Chihuahua too, and he was like, she loved to drink. Oh, I don't drink it. What is it called? It was dark. It was dark liquor, but it was some sort of rum, and I forget what it was called. But she used to always drink that. And if we were getting ready to go out somewhere for the weekend or whatever, she would always be, we'd get ready over at my place or whatever, and she would have her drink and she would, forget and set it down next to the couch or something like that. Like she would never want to get the ring on the table, so she wouldn't set it on the table or whatever. And it never failed that her chihuahua would always end up licking, like he would drink her drink, right? And when it got down so low to where he couldn't fit his head in the glass to get the rest of the liquor out of there, he would tip it over and then drink all the, it was, oh my God, that dog was an alcoholic. Like no cap. He was a straight up alcoholic. Yeah, that's funny, Lady Fresh. That is funny. They do that though. Dogs are nuts. I don't think I don't think the ones that I have now, I don't think that because I don't drink like that, so I don't think they've ever. But yeah, it just seems like dogs. You've either got a dog that will eat anything, drink anything, or you've got one that's picky as hell, like jalapeno. That's crazy. Hey, Mister and Mrs. Fresh, are you guys on the road, or do you guys get to at least chill out for the weekend? I forgot to ask you guys that. That soup, fresh. Oh my gosh. Jen, who has a French bulldog? Is that somebody at the game you're at? French bulldogs? Isn't that the one where I had? Remember when I was on Larry's panel the one time? What was that bulldog's name? Where he talks like, well, he whines like a human, and he's all loud all the time. Walter. That's his name. Where he's got his YouTube channel, but he's a bulldog, so it's like Walter the bulldog or whatever, and he's white. If you guys want to look it up on YouTube. And this dog has got to be a reincarnated human because he literally sits there and just randomly like bitches. He is hilarious. Oh yeah, so it's somebody at the game. Have you guys seen those? Isn't it Two Chains, I think, that has like those bulldogs that they're breeding where they're super expensive, like $20,000 or something like that? I think those are bulldogs. They're some sort of bulldog, but they're miniature too. So they're like some sort of special breed, and the only people that have them are like celebrities or some shit. Pamela, I saw a video. I think it was yesterday where this couple or whatever they were showing their pit bulls. These dogs were so pretty. Like I love when people take care of their pets and like they should, right? But their coats were really really short and shiny, and they were huge, but they were such big babies, But their heads were like the size of my both of my legs together. Like those were some huge pit bulls. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Oh no. That's like Lady Fresh. Have you ever been in a room or something like that and your friend will like shut the light off on you or some shit? That's horrible. Why do people do shit like that? That's like if it's winter outside and you're walking into like I don't know a store or restaurant or something like that. And you have a friend that like holds the door closed, so you're outside trying to pull at the door to get it open, and they're on the inside laughing and shit. Like it's funny when you're like, "Look, asshole, I'm out here. It's cold, and I look like an idiot because you won't let me in the door." Like, open the door. Why do people do shit like that? Or like when you try to go and get inside the car and they pull off and shit. Luckily, that never happened to me, but I saw it done. I'm like, that sucks. Oh my God. I know that's right, Lady Fresh. I would have flew out of there. Oh my God. No way. It must have been a pet. That is, oh my goodness. No, no, ma'am. Nope. Somebody would have got cussed out for that shit. Oh no. All right. What did Mr. Fresh say? Home for a few hours. Oh, you got to head out again tomorrow? Aw. I can imagine. You guys work hard. You definitely do. Kudos to you guys. Lady Fresh. That's funny. That is funny. Boy, those are probably some big stories you could get into about underage drinking. Oh my God. I'm pretty sure all of us have done that, or a great deal of us have done that. Probably have the craziest stories to tell. Oh my goodness. That's horrible, Lady Fresh. I'm telling you, I would have went off. Somebody would have got it. Like I would have, I don't, oh my God, no way. I would have been plotting on just thinking of evil shit to get the get my friends back. Like, no, that's horrible. Oh, you left for college a week later, right, Jen? I think they did. Like, I think I can't if it was a pet or something like that. That's horrible. Yeah, they would have had to get. I would have planned my revenge. Like, you went to college a week later, I would have been planning revenge for a whole semester on that ass. I would have been like, "Oh, I'm coming home for Christmas break. Want to meet up?" I would have been plotting, trying to give me high blood pressure at a young age. Oh no, that is wrong. That's crazy. Lady Fresh. I was a plate. I had to go to the bathroom, so I was the first in the door. So it was me. That's so bad. I feel so bad. You poor thing. Well, at least you can laugh about it now because it went. Nothing happened. But that's horrible. What kind of friends were those? That is horrible. That's crazy. Well, my loves, I'm gonna probably shut it down. Yes, Pamela. What did Jen say? Yeah, right. Jen says, do you talk to them now still? Pamela, I didn't think of it that way. Like if they fly around the street lights, oh God, now I'm gonna have to notice that. Ugh. I always catch them right before it gets dark. Now that and you know what's crazy is before I was told that that's what they were, I thought they were birds. I had no idea that they were really bats. Like who that I look at it so differently now. Like, what Fresh say? That's why I don't go anywhere with you. Because you're always, Fresh. Why are you being a bully? You guys are too funny. But thank you guys for coming. I'm glad I had fun. I'm glad I finally got my little Nine Lives Reese story out of the way. And like I said, make sure that if you guys find out any new information, you know I'll keep you guys updated if I find out any. And remember, if you want to see Lady Fresh, I don't know if you guys were here at the time, or if you're gonna go back and listen, but I've got two videos in my description box that tie into the story that I was talking about Little Reese. The first one is the one where Snitch Nine had he reenacted when Little Reese had gotten in a fight and ended up pooing on himself. And then the second one is the one that was video recorded where he fought this girl and he ended up catching a battery charge for that. So there's two video links in the description box if you guys weren't in here when I was talking about that. But again, I'm so glad that everybody came. Shout out to everybody. I hope everybody has a good weekend. Um, hold on real quick, guys. Shout out to King Ramon and shout out to Long Legged Larry and shout out to the Browns for the cash apps. Thank you guys so much, so very much. And thank you so much, you guys, like I said, for everybody that showed up. Lady Fresh and L. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Jen. Thank you. I hope I'm getting better, you guys. I hope so. I'm trying to get better. Pretty soon I'll have pretty soon hopefully I'll have, like I'll be able to upgrade my stuff and everything. You guys won't know what hits you though, I'm telling you. Once I'm able to get like a actual computer and stuff like that, I'm gonna be like up for a whole week straight. Where I'm able to make like attach videos and show you guys things that I'm talking about and everything. Oh my god, it's gonna be a wrap then. It's gonna be a wrap. I'm gonna go on like a nonstop live tour for like 3 days. It won't be that long, but I'm telling you, I'm gonna be so excited. But thank you guys, like I said, for coming up. Larry is definitely gonna go live later at his usual time. I think it'll be like 11:55 probably. I'm not positive, but you guys know he'll put out a reminder. But he's gonna do one later. And if I have enough time in between then, I'll do the one that I was gonna do before. If not, I'll end up doing it tomorrow. Since everybody's in here, let me ask you guys now. I'm always so scared to go live early on a Saturday, like before, I don't know, like 3 or 4 in the afternoon, because I'm afraid nobody will see it. If you guys had, like, how's everybody's schedules on Saturday? Is it easier if I do it around, like, I don't know, 3 or 4 in the afternoon? Or would everybody be able to come if I do a show at, like, I don't know, 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning? Because I want to do like an early show sometimes, but like I said, I'm afraid that like nobody will show up because there's been a couple times I've tried to do one at like like 10:30, 11, almost noon, and those aren't my best ones. Usually at night. Yeah, Lady Fresh and Fresh Brown. If you guys didn't catch the beginning of the show when you guys are driving or you're bored or whatever, go back and listen to it because I want to hear your guys' opinions about what's going on with him because the whole case is just so sketchy, and I want to know what everybody thinks about that. This one is to be concluded. Or what is it? To be continued. But thank you again, everybody. Let me see, shout everybody out. The Browns, of course, like I said, Pamela, Jen, NASA, Harlem, that was up here for a little bit with I have no idea what happens to him. He always jumps off like that. Um, who else stopped by? I hate it when you can't even go back in your own stuff. Larry, of course. King Ramon. What was the guy that was talking about I think it was Mr. Orange was him. Thank you for stopping by. I'm trying to remember. Oh, Murph came in for a little bit. And if I forgot anybody, which I'm pretty sure I did, I can't go back and look though, and that sucks, but blame it on the StreamYard thing. But like I said, I love you guys to death. Thank you so much for listening to me. And like I said, Larry will be live later. Everybody enjoy their Friday evening. And I'll be doing a live tomorrow. So catch that one if you would like to. And again, thank you guys so much for listening to me. And I will probably see you guys at Larry's later on, okay? Bye, everybody.